Evening all, welcome back to Death Alley Part 3. Goodness me, this fight's going on for a long time. It was fun, I must admit, it was a lot of fun. I think, again, I would just stress that, don't get too ragey at this PvP stuff. I know a lot of people are not liking the fact that there are these gangs going around, but surely that makes the game interesting. Anyway, look, I won't say any more than that. I think also as well a lot of interest in terms of the way that the stats work in this game. I think it's always it's always interesting to see what people think. But yeah, it's interesting because I found Marco, guy who runs with us, he regularly runs a shotgun in PvP now, which I thought was interesting because I always consider shotguns to be completely crap, but it would appear that actually that's not the case. You can run shotguns quite comfortably, which is pretty cool. So yeah, definitely worth looking at that. I'm curious to know what more you can do to to kind of make the game a little bit less SMG like. I think that seems to be a big issue at the moment, is SMGs are king, which is fine. I know it's kind of fine, but I think I would love to see a bit more, look at the game, if you like, in terms of non-SMG assault rifle, etc. Now, I don't know there's a lot we can do about that because there's a major issue generally, I think, about like the way the game works at the moment. Bonuses to SMGs are ridiculously good, so critical chance hits on SMGs are very good, in fact. But again, I think that probably is right. Maybe the assault rifles need an equivalent, or they need to just get rid of that critical damage hit, because I would say SMGs at the moment are very, very overpowered. They seem to have a real ability, let's say, to destroy things. So, definitely worth considering. So, I think at the end, at the end of the day, it's going to be one of those things where the game has to find its roots. It has to settle itself. There's going to be certain things that will be removed. There's certain traits that are going to be buffed and so on. So I think for now it's just going to be, people are going to have to figure out what they want to do and how they want it to work. It is quite cool that they're still finding, or rather we're still finding stuff out about the game. Last night in Gang, Stefan found out that you possibly can use EMP grenades to remove all effects of skills from people. Okay, so this could also mean the specialization skills. So if somebody pops a super, just have your grenade on you, your EMP grenade set on you, and that actually means you have the ability to super, or rather EMP their grenade effect off. Does that make sense? Yeah, they're super off. That's pretty cool, isn't it? I like the thought of that. I think that could work out quite well. There could well be a huge, tactical thing to do there, because if somebody pops a super, you can then immediately just wang EMP grenades around them, and in theory it should switch the flipping thing off. So definitely worth giving that a try. We did try it. It's not easy in PvP to do that. It's a sub tactic. It's not a great tactic, because I will be clear with you, it's almost impossible to do. So yeah. Also, I would love to see a nerf of the roll. You see the roll there? That needs to be nerfed. That desperately needs to be nerfed. You shouldn't be able to do a roll twice in a row. It should be you can roll, and then there's a delay, then roll again, and then, that would work perfectly well for me. I don't mind it so much. I think it's not a great tactic, but, I think you're seeing it used a lot at the moment, and it's kind of unrealistic. I like the fact you can't jump, let's say, because jumping has always been a load of rubbish in games. I hate the fact, no soldier in the field jumps in the middle of a firefight. You don't. You stand there, you stand your ground, you take cover, you shoot. And that's the way it should be. And this is why I pay this game respect, because it doesn't do that. But I would love to see that kind of move away from having jumping always being a thing. Not jumping, rolling in this game. But then again, that's what you can do. It's just one of those things. I don't know if there's a great, kind of issue with it necessarily. But as you can see in these gunfights, people are just rolling everywhere. And it's not terribly realistic. It would be nice if all they could do was actually just run, hide, use cover, etc. That would make a lot more sense. But there we go. Now, it's fun. It's a lot of fun. I do recommend you come into the Dark Zone and try and PvP. It is one of the things that's going to keep the game interesting. I think a lot of people are a bit negative to it, obviously, because no one likes to be ganked when you're trying to do what you're trying to do. And I get that. I think it's just, I think there are times when you should really just make yourself do something a little bit out of your comfort zone, and you'll be the better for it. And there we go, look at that, we repulsed that attack. We lost a few dudes, but it was a lot of fun, just literally holed up in this part of the map. It was a huge amount of fun, I can only say that. It was, it was a real blast. And I think, you know, this is why games like this need this kind of thing, because just because you don't like it doesn't mean that others love this kind of gameplay. And I did enjoy it. Yeah, it was frustrating because, you know, you're kind of always in that position where you're going to lose. You're going to lose your levels and all that. But at the end of the day, you shouldn't be afraid just to play the game and have fun. And look at this guy. There we go. Another great example of why rolling's got to go. Oh, it's very annoying. I would love it if it was a bit more realistic, just because that, I think, is what they're trying to get. Okay, yes, bullet sponge, etc., but I would love it if the game could just have that little bit more realism, where I think you could end up just completely, you know, I don't know, just having a better gunfight where you're not kind of... I mean, look at that, he doesn't shoot me. I'd love to know what's going on there. He actually had the chance to shoot me there, but he didn't. I think he was so desperate to get there. I think it was Trapper Don. I think he was so desperate to get him. I'm not quite sure why, but there we go. So, you know, I think it's an interesting part of the game, and I would recommend people try it. Right, no more. We're not going to talk anymore about that. We're about to get completely owned because a whole wave of people are going to come at us, so enjoy the footage. For me, I think one of the key things I'm going to do now with this game is really just figure out the fittings and the gear, because I still have got to get better armor. At this point, I was only running a tank of 60k, or health of 60k, which is low. That's really low, in fact. And through the getting Dark Zone level 50, I'm now running around, I'd say, probably about 95 to 100. But it's difficult to get those mods and gear things that give you the ability to get like a lot of pockets or, you know, mod slots. Mod slots, I think, are very important. I would recommend that you put as many mod slots on as you can, because they do seem to be absolutely critical. But having said that, I think the challenge is always going to be, you know, what do you do when it comes to, you know, the firearms piece? But there we go. Hope you enjoyed that. We'll see you next time.